This is my review on Tom Cruise movie Mission Impossible. The first installment, honestly, I think this movie is the dumbest, the one out of all of them. How many are there now? 6, 8? Counting the new one, Dead Reckoning, Part 1. I haven't seen that one yet, you know, all pretty stupid. And insult your intelligence. And you if you're a fan of the show. But not if you're a fan of Tom Cruise and a fan of action blockbusters in general. That's what these movies have taught me. So, we're introduced not to Tom Cruise at first, Ethan Hunt, but to Jim Phelps. For those who are wondering, who is this guy? Oh, he's the main character from the show. That's supposed to be always a good guy and on the team and loyal to the team and his mission and everything. So, but this movie decided to take that MacGuffin on making that bad guy at the last minute twist. Even though it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, then we don't understand his motivation on why he's now a bad guy. Twist. This is what it takes. Trope. That trope. So the movie, Jim Phelps meets up with the Mission Impossible team of the movie. Which are different team members from the show, than the ones from the show, actors and characters, so. I'm just fixing my socks right now. One was like inside out, okay? It was kind of feeling awkward, so I fixed that. Yeah, it was looking weird. So, Jim explains the mission and explains the rules of the mission if it goes wrong, and meet up here at the safe place if it goes wrong and don't get caught. Otherwise you get disavowed. Blah blah blah. And something goes wrong with the mission because all of the team gets murdered. Badly. Well, they die, but you're assuming that they get murdered. Because there's like too many people dying in this movie, in this around one time. So the team is all dead except for Ethan. Makes a call to a guy, and he meets up with him in a restaurant and finds out that they've been spying on him and his team because they're worried that he might be a mole for the MIF. The MIF. That stands for Mission Impossible Force. So, Ethan creates a distraction and goes on the run. and now he's wanted fugitive of the government and also of law, and basically he has to stay in the shadows and basically while putting together a team while trying not to get caught in dealing with the fact that he's considered a rogue agent and possibly mold. So he puts together a small group of team after running into one of his team members that survived somehow the explosion that she was supposed to be in, but it turns out she was in the car someone else was in. They use that, MacGuffin explain, and do so. So they copy everything on this disc and steal knowledge and use it to basically find this anonymous source that was supposed to meet up with Jim. That's Easton's plan. And this whole time you're wondering, the first time viewing, wait, why is he doing this? Where is he going? Only later to reveal by the movie's ending, he's on to Jim being the mold and has suspected he's the mold and faked his death. Once we get to the third act, Jim had Easton suspicious the whole time. Once he mentioned the hotel, the fancy hotel he stayed at, so that was a giveaway. But he wasn't sure about Jim's wife, so that's why he decided to take the risk, even though he knew Jim was the mole this entire time before scenes got horribly bad for him. So he wanted to take the risk to prove his. Just to see, well, if she was the mold or if she was also working with Jim or not. So she is, so in cahoots with him. So all revealed on it's all revealed to us in the third act, and then we find out that one of the team members that the team members took the disc from Easton, but he's all smart at him somehow, and that guy was apparently in on everything too that Jim was somehow. And so they know each other. So Jim shoots his wife in cold blood, tries to make his escape after trying to shoot Easton and shooting his wife instead because his wife didn't want him to shoot Easton. So he shoots her. Okay, he makes his escape route, but Easton stops him and blows him up by connecting the helicopter to the moving train while he's hanging on to the moving train, and blows up with this MacGuffin that's red and blue gum. They blow up and create this big explosion. Red light, green light, and Easton says to Jim before he blows him up. Which is a callback from his friend that got murdered from when the other team got murdered in earlier in the film of this movie. So now the word is out that Jim is the mold, and doing so, Easton's name's clean and gets an apology from everyone. So And he goes heavy empty until he gets his next mission on the plane back home. And he decides to accept his mission on a plane, and that's Mission Impossible, what it's all about. Or what Tom Cruise thinks Mission Impossible should be about. I'm sorry, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, Mission Impossible. Still, as stupid as this movie would be, and is, and could be, and more stupid than it is for the final product, I still give it a 10 out of 10. It's very well paced. Try to stick it this time, considering how stupid the premise is, and the plot and everything is, and yeah, CGI doesn't really hold up well. Well, the acting's still fairly well for this time. I mean, the CGI is not. Let's put it this way: the CGI holds up. It's not compared to today's standard
CGI limits, you know, as it holds up well, just not as well as today's. You know, is what I'm trying to say. This movie's fine. It's like I missed the show so much. I was watching the show so much more than watching these movies of Mission Impossible a lot more. I seem to make myself a little sad. I'm sad because this is all the Mission Impossible content you get now these days. You can get for new content. Are these big, bloated, big budget nonsense of a plot of a movie with little to no narrative of a story structure or world building that's got multiple movies that's connected somehow. You know, I changed my mind saying this was one of the better Mission Impossibles than one. This is the worst one. What I said about it in my earlier videos when I said that this was one of the better Mission Impossible movies, I take that back. This is one of the worst one, if not this is the worst one that the Mission Impossible franchise has to offer. It's amazing how much this insults your intelligence when it comes to using common sense. And that's what makes it phenomenal. And why it gets a 10 out of 10 for me. And that's from the heart. Subscribe to my channel, like the video, and goodbye. And, is that all I said and meant to say? Yeah.